Alrighty, here we are back again, episode two, Holy Buckets podcast. But I'm gonna do this a little bit earlier, but Jeff decided to have alternate plans. So here we are, Thursday after the Masters, and what a Masters it was, right, Jeff?
Yeah, hey Jay, how you doing? Yeah, my wife decided to have the baby, so a little bit of a speed bump, but hey, we're here.
Well,
It wasn't Monday, but we got to it, so this
well,
is good. Definitely one heck of a Masters.
congrats again on your first in
Thank you,
Nashville.
thank you.
So you'll do well. So yeah, God, Scottie again, big surprise, right? It was that he won again. I mean, he was super strong coming into this anyway, wasn't he?
Yeah, I gotta hand up. I underestimated the putting. I really thought that the putting was going to be a much bigger problem than it was. The fact that he won by 4 shots to me really solid. And I think the other part of it too is it wasn't like, he won by 4 shots and he like eagled 15, birdied 16, 17 or something to pull ahead. It was like as he kind of strolled into Amen Corner on Sunday, it was pretty much kind of wrapped up. Like
Yeah,
he like the actual dagger was I think on 16 when he rolled in like that 15 footer
you're
to
right.
make it like that's where he got it up to the 4 shot lead. But it was I don't know, watching 12, you were like, as long as he doesn't wash this, it's going to be pretty much a
Yeah,
wrap.
it was pretty tight coming in. I mean, after the third round, right? They were coming into the final, right? Him and Morikawa tied at the top, and they were going back and forth, I guess, on the first like six or seven holes. And then Scotty just turns up another gear and birdies eight, nine, and 10. And that was pretty much it right there. I mean, that was got a big lead and didn't let it go. And I think after he passed 12, we were like, all right, this is pretty much done deal. Um,
Yeah,
and
like you said, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Apologies there. Like you said, he birdied. You said 8, 9, 10.
yeah,
Meanwhile, you have Morikawa. He birdies 8, doubles 9, pars 10, and then immediately doubles 11.
yep,
I believe he washed it on 11, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah,
So it's just like, you got Scotty who's just not going to go backwards, or if he does a little bit, he's going to immediately bounce back. But one of the stats they were talking about was I don't, I believe it was called like bounce back percentage. It was like after a bogey, what percentage of the time does he make a birdie right after?
yeah.
And it was at like 49% or something just crazy.
Jeez.
So it's like, he's not going to go backwards. And if by some crazy chance he does, he immediately comes charging right back. And it's just like, I feel like throughout the round, he just puts a lot of pressure on you. Like I remember on round three, when it was still kind of him and Bryson dueling it a little bit.
Hmm.
He doubled 10, bogeys 11, and then he rolls in a 35, 30 something foot putt on 13 for an eagle to get
Yeah.
himself right back in it. Like he just doesn't go away,
Oh yeah,
which is crazy. Like that was
he
nuts.
got fired up on that eagle too. I was one of the few eagles on that whole of all week. I think
Oh yeah, he gave us a little fist pump. Yeah, no, that was sweet.
yeah, I think the lengthening too of that hole really changed it where it's mostly now it's a layup hole from now on. Kind of sucks that they took the excitement out of it, but I understand why they did it. But
I
that was
thought the big
huge
boys at the top of the leaderboard, a lot of those guys went for it. I don't know if did you see not to go
on
get that
Saturday,
front
but
on leaderboard.
yeah, on Saturday, but Sunday it was. I felt like a lot of guys were just laying it up there, and that was it.
Yeah, and maybe that's the guy. I didn't see that. I saw Bryson hit it from the pine straw on the right.
Yeah.
He hit a mud ball like 260 or some crazy number. It was nuts.
Yeah. It's really weird
But
that like on 10 they gotta hit this crazy draw shot and then on 13 almost the same shot and they don't do it. It's strange why I don't know. I gotta think about why they would not play the same shot they just hit on 10, but I think maybe for
I
strategy.
I think a lot of the guys aren't hitting driver off 10. And I think that on
Yeah.
13 you can't like I know that Homo was hitting three wood a lot and he wasn't getting down far enough. I think he had like 270 or something. And not like he's,
Yeah.
Mr. Bomber, but I think obviously it's a lot easier to draw a three wood than a driver.
Yeah.
For some people. I mean, like I think in general, I would say it's probably easier.
Most people it's easier to draw that three wood now than it is to drive. The driver just doesn't put a lot of side spin on it anymore. Um, so anyway, yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, Homa again on 12 got that terrible bounce right into the back into the weeds over there. forced to take a double bogey. That was pretty crazy too. I mean, he missed by what, a couple of feet, and that was the difference between double and potentially a birdie there.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the biggest thing that when I look at these, like when I was watching kind of down the stretch, it just didn't see like the only person that I felt like had like, a snowball's chance in hell of catching him on Sunday was Ludwig. And it's
Yeah,
like, Ludwig is incredible, but like kind of in his defense, it's like, this is his first time playing the Masters, and we're gonna make him go chase down Scottie.
yeah,
Like,
he got it.
it is what it is, but and he did a damn good job. But it's like I didn't think Homa had a chance. I didn't think Fleetwood had a chance. I didn't think Morikawa just like completely just went like just curled up into a ball like a little girl.
Well,
Like that
yeah,
was just awful.
and you look at the leaderboard, right? Scheffler is four clear of Aberg, and then third is Fleetwood and Homa and Morikawa at four
Yeah,
under.
he's
They
seven clear of them. It's like
seven clear of
just
third, and Aberg was three clear of second. So like it was just those, and then they were tied on nine. Aberg birdies nine, and they were tied momentarily. And then Scheffler almost holed out on nine too. I don't know how that ball didn't go in either.
I was not that was something. That
Yeah,
was really special. That
I,
really
I
was.
I saw it. I'm like, oh, that's going in. All of a sudden, it just slows down and makes a little bit of a turn to the left. But I mean, yeah, that was it. So birdie, he's tapping birdie there, and then on 10 hits a ridiculous shot. Bogey's 11, but 11, I mean, everybody was pretty much bogeying that day, unless you were going for it. I mean, he just put it out to the right and was like, all right, worst I'm going to make there is five. And you got a chance to birdie 13, which he did. And then he birdies 14. And that's pretty much it. And Aberg, I don't think he knew Aberg doubled 11 either until he got down there.
No, I'd agree with that. I
Yeah.
mean, to me, I look at, I'm not a huge fan of him, but like Morikawa, like I think Morikawa's performance was really damning. I don't think I think he's got a lot of demeanor issues. Like he's like pouts around there. He has that kind of speak JT, like, oh, if I'm not playing good, I'm gonna pout around the course.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that kind of like that's made me honestly more concerned, you know, if you think it or not, but like his post round interview or like kind of that little, like when they come off the 18th, they have like a quick like whatever 3 minute like Q&A.
Yeah.
They were asking him questions about like how he played and everything, and he basically was like talking about how Scotty's like just that much better than like himself and everyone else. And he's like, I got to get better, and it's kind of like it's not a great like mindset. Like my best stuff against his best stuff isn't going to get it done.
Hmm.
Like that's not what you want from a professional golfer, just really a professional athlete, period. So that I didn't really like. I mean, I'm not a Morikawa guy. I don't really think
Yeah,
he's got that much grit.
he hasn't done anything in a while and just pops it pure only because it's it's a ball strikers kind of tournament with how firm it was playing, and that's why he was up there. But Aberg doesn't surprise him. He's up there because he's going to be in this. He's going to be in these a lot more. His name will show up a hell of a lot more.
He's a lot more complete of a player.
Yeah, I mean he hits the crap out of it. Long player, hits his iron so well, and I think he's more mature beyond his where he is right now for his first ever major, not alone
Oh,
first Masters.
yeah, I'm completely blown away by that. That is like something really special. The moment wasn't too big. Did you see the it's kind of a nothing burger video, but he was walking, I don't know, I believe it was after 13 maybe, but he was walking to the next tee and he was eating a power bar. And did you see the person like he was high-fiving people and somebody bumped his power bar out of his hand? Did you see
No,
that? So they bump his power bar out of his hand and hits the ground, and he looks at him and gives him a stern look, and then hits him with like the $1 million smile, like I'm just messing with you, and
that's
smiles and
funny.
keeps walking. But it just was like that kind of swagger, like he's like on the back nine of the Sunday at Augusta, and he's still like the one. It just showed like a really cool personality that he's not taking himself or what he's doing too seriously, but it
Yeah,
was the fact that he's able to be that loose in that kind of environment, and like at that point in time, he was in contention. Like it was not like it was
yep,
over. So I thought that was a really, really cool thing. And I look at that kind of like that's the opposite of some of the other guys that we're expecting more out of.
right.
So like you're saying, like I think Ludwig can and should have some really good odds going into some of these other majors and other
Oh yeah,
tournaments. He's A
yep,
plus. Like I just was watching a little bit today of the RBC Heritage, and I think as of right now he is at where is he? He shot 5 under.
yeah.
So he's like right there at the top of the leaderboard making some hay. So
Yep,
like there's just absolute machine. But
exactly.
so you want to go and look real quick at
Yeah,
the
let's see who didn't make the
who missed
cut.
the
Yeah,
yeah
there's some pretty
yeah let's
interesting
see.
names like there. So let's look on this leaderboard that pops out to you. Well, the big one for me, I would say right away, Victor Hovland.
Yeah, that that's fine. I didn't even have it. I went through I took a little screenshot and had some highlights. I didn't have him highlighted. That's a really good catch.
He,
Thank you.
where I'm trying to find him here. He was in good position on the first, after the first round. What did he shoot round one? I'm trying to find his name here. Um, oh, here he is.
He missed the cut at eight
Yeah.
over, if that helps.
So in the first round, he shot 171, which is a good score, all things considered. And then round two, I mean, he just absolutely blew up. I mean, he triple, he's messing on two. He triple bogeys too. Like he pulls it so far left, I think, on his first shot, and has no chance after that. You see him in the woods there playing around. It's just so bad. Um, yeah, and so on the par fives alone, he was four over par
Wow.
and shoots 81.
Yeah,
Very
I saw this kind of I guess I don't know if we'd call it immature. I guess it's kind of immature, just not thinking. I think it was a three putt, I believe, on 15, where he missed like a 6 incher.
yeah.
He
Hmm.
like missed the par putt and was annoyed and then kind of stabbed at it. I mean,
Yeah.
we've all done that, but we're not playing golf for money or
No.
real money.
No.
Playing
Yeah.
for club cash.
It
Yeah,
just it
I love
just
club cash, but it's
yeah,
not the same.
I can get half a shirt for each putt that I make.
Exactly. Down the stretch, the stakes are a little bit less meaningful.
Yeah.
So I think Victor's a really good one. I have three that like just absolutely leap off the screen here to
Okay.
me.
Who do you got?
Um, so one of the things I was looking at with this, we go into these majors and we're like, well, we look at past year, performance, and we kind of like cross-reference that with the future majors. So we had, obviously four major champions last year. We had Rom Brooks, we had Wyndham Clark, and we had Brian Harmon. And out of the four of those guys, only two of them made the cut, which
Yeah.
is kind of interesting. I think that's a lot. Like when you look at it though, like so you obviously Rom won the Masters. Would have been really surprised if he missed the cut. I think that would have been pretty crazy. He obviously
Yeah.
is a very solid iron player, bombs it off the tee, didn't have his best stuff, ended up finishing whatever, T45. Brooks, obviously really good iron player, bombs it like solid, wins at Oak Hill, very solid golf course, great
Yeah.
performance. Makes the cut, doesn't finish good. I think he tied Rom actually at T45. But then you
Hmm.
got Wyndham Clark, who wins kind of a fluky US Open and then gets into this thing and he ends up missing the cut after some pretty snarky comments. I don't know if you saw what he had said
Oh,
after round one.
yeah, he put his foot in his mouth for sure
Yeah,
on
he's chirping
some.
about Bryson was out, shoots what 65, 7 under, which is
Yeah.
very impressive, like him or not. I mean, I'm a big fan, but
Yeah, and then he
so he
said,
goes
yeah.
out, does that, and then you got Wyndham Clark chirping. I don't know if he's, salty that he didn't get enough money offered to him in his live deal that he didn't end up taking or what. But it's like he's like, yeah, well, those guys only played, 54 holes, yada yada. So he he really regrets that, I'm sure.
Yep.
And then you have Brian Harmon, the champion golfer of the year.
Hmm.
That to me, not as winning at Hoylake and basically like a hurricane. Um,
He
it's
putted
it's a
his ass
little
off.
yeah, yeah. I'm not knocking him. He did great, but I'm more saying like him not making the cut at Augusta is not nearly as shocking to me. But
No.
it's just a little interesting. You got the two of the four major champions are PGA guys. Those guys didn't make the cut, and you got the other two guys are live boys who did make the cut.
Yeah,
Granted, didn't play
Wyndham
well.
shot 73, 78. Really never was in it. And then Harmon 81 automatically. It's like, all right, you shoot 81, see you later.
Yeah,
The last four, I'm looking at a scorecard in the first round. He played the first 10 holes in two under, and then played the last eight holes in one, two, three, four, seven, 11 over par. It's like,
wow.
yeah, he
That's
16, 17,
that's
18, he goes triple, double, double.
yeah, that's a lot. That is
Yeah,
that is not good.
no, I ain't gonna do
But
it.
That is not. Two other guys that I was looking at, I'm kind of like, I really don't even know what to say about them anymore. I don't really kind of categorize them as elite, but
Right.
Spieth and JT,
Yep.
um, really disappointing. Like, I mean, this is like one of the courses
They
that
were like never in. They were
they
never in it to begin with.
yeah, I don't know what the issue is. They don't like both of those guys really lackluster performances recently. Like, I'm not really impressed. Um, I don't know. What is like, what do you like? What's your kind of takeaway from this? I mean,
Well,
obviously, like, JT, two-time major champion, Spieth, I believe, is a three-time.
yeah.
But it's kind of like, what are we doing? Like, are these
They
guys
both like
like I
shot.
want? Like,
They both shot the same score, just opposite rounds, right? So they had 79, 72, which is yeah. I
I
watched
think JT played a little better. I think JT finished seven over and Spieth finished nine over, if I'm not mistaken.
equally
Um,
crappy. They both shot 79 on each on one
yeah, they
from one
were.
round.
Yeah, it was awful. Well, the
They
other
were
thing that was cool
barely
though
on
with
T.
JT's that was he played so bad he moved the cut line.
Yeah.
Like that's like really damning. Like, oh, I don't know. Like, what do we do with that? Like, what's like kind of where's your head with them? Like,
Something's wrong. Either one. Well, yeah. Look. I'm looking at a second round for JT again. Like Harmon plays 15 through eight. He's even par through 13 holes, and then plays the
yeah,
last four and
double,
seven over. He went
yeah,
double,
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 bogey,
bogey, double.
double. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He just like ejected himself, just
Oh,
full on, just like
yeah,
goodbye.
yeah.
Yeah,
He was in the cut line and then out of the cut line. Like he was in the cut line
it's
up till up until he got to the 15th tee, and he was easily in the cut. He was at even par. Where was he? Yeah, yeah. He was, yep. He was even, and then shot himself out of the tournament. Yep, exactly right. Wow.
yeah. They're I like both of those guys. I always think like Spieth to me, like in the Open, really good chance. And usually Augusta, he usually does something. I think last year he came T4. He was in that final grouping with Phil where he just went absolutely haywire. But
Yeah,
it's like it's just like really like this is what you're gonna do for us. You're
I
gonna just kind of
think I
meander out there.
think with Jake, well, their swings are pretty unique, and I think now that they're getting a little bit older and a little bit more scar tissue, some of their ability to make up for what their swing gives them is slightly going away. And
Yeah, maybe they're losing speed or something too. On top of
speed
that,
and like the ability to square up the club and their hands a little bit slower. That's my guess because fundamentally they look the same. But again, it's the same. They're having the same result in almost every tournament. It's like they have a few blow up holes that just shoots them out of the tournament, and that's it. They play mediocre otherwise, and then they have like that 3 or 4 holes that just they play terribly and they're out of it.
yeah, it's I really don't have anything else to add to it. It's just kind
Yeah,
of it's disappointing because I mean, like you
it's an
watch like
on
when
yeah,
JT won that PGA, that was amazing. But it's
yeah.
just kind of like, can you guys have to show a little more consistency? I get it, you're not going to win everything, but it's just like the flash in the pan, the hot and cold. I mean, it just makes it more and more, I think, obvious that ZJ's pick for JT is strictly just
Yeah.
because it's his boy, which just is like I saw a
What
thing on
you
Instagram. There was like
yeah.
we're showing Bryson versus JT, and it was like, really?
Yep.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Bryson played pretty darn good. I mean,
Yeah, this just goes to show you that was a terrible pick, and it really should have been Bryson at that Ryder Cup. That should have been or at least Keegan Bradley, but who the hell knows what would
yeah,
have happened.
somebody. Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. Kind of.
So,
Yeah, I saw that on the
well,
full swing thing.
yeah.
But
Who else
yeah,
was a
Zach
surprise to
Johnson
you?
also missed the cut. No shot
Yeah.
that they missed. The one that just like absolutely leaps. So I could jump over to the live play performance because it's a lot of those guys actually. Um,
Yeah,
if you're
since
good with it, I'll pivot over there because it's really one.
you're our resident live experts, so yes, let's talk about those guys.
Yeah, the live. I prefer to go by live bop. No. All right. So live play performance. So I'm going to start with who missed the cut. So we had Bubba missed. Doesn't really surprise me at all. Charles
No,
Schwartzel missed. Wasn't a little surprised by that. He's been playing pretty solid on live. So that's a little bit awkward. honestly, I don't think a lot of those live courses have like, the most strenuous iron tests. That Hong Kong course definitely was a little bit tighter from an iron play standpoint, but in general, I don't think they're like necessarily as nasty. Adrian Meronk, a little bit surprised by that, not like completely blown away. Um, and then the two that kind of jumped off a little more to me, Sergio missed, which was kind of crazy. He was doing really solid. Day one, he played well. Day two, he had a couple not so great holes and just kind of
Mm.
shot himself out of it. And then Dustin Johnson, I believe, and I'll double check here. I thought that he did not do well on day one, and then I think he had to kind of press to try to get back into it, and I think he got like an
Mm,
80 or something
no,
brutal.
he's 78,
Well,
79. I mean,
oh,
yeah,
well, that makes sense. So he shot the first round. He was in big trouble. Had to press to get back into it, and then he just pressed and didn't make it happen.
yeah,
So,
not
but yeah,
looking
so I
good.
mean, that's a little awkward.
I don't know. I
Well,
think D,
I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing about DJ, like you're saying, where it's like, kind of like, is he really in that much form? Does he really care? And
yeah,
I went back, I was looking through my notes, and DJ won that Live Golf Vegas thing like 6 weeks ago. He won $5 million, like literally, like, whatever,
I gotta
45
be
days
honest.
ago.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't think he cares. I don't think he. I think he's just like I get to play in the Masters for a little bit. I get to play in in the U.S. Open, and then we'll take it from there. Um, I
He
think
had one
after
birdie over the two
seeing,
round.
yeah, I think after seeing the him in full swing, he's probably like, I don't really care anymore, and maybe he's glad he's not in that spotlight anymore. Uh,
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I struggle to believe that he doesn't care at all. I definitely don't think he's like I don't put him in like the Bryson category where he's just grinding his face off.
yeah,
Like so I'm not, I don't think that's the case, but
yep. Okay, all right. Who else?
it's
Um,
interesting.
all right, live bot. Who
All
else?
right, so I highlighted who we missed. I'm going to go back to the top here. So we got Big Bad Bryson DeChambeau,
Yep.
T6. A little bit disappointing. He came out of the gate just absolutely guns blazing. I don't really think that he had like the worst follow-up rounds. He didn't end up shooting another round under par. Um, on the Sunday, he put himself
I
in just awesome situations with like he had so many looks at birdie and the
yeah.
putter just he didn't have it on. And he's a guy
His
like if he's
putter
going to
left
shoot,
him
his 5, 6 under. Yeah, he lost the speed on
on Saturday.
Saturday, and he struggled. He really did. But
He
I
like
was like
made
the
not
shot that just
yeah.
blew me.
He like made nothing.
Yeah, the shot that blew me off like the planet was his approach shot on 11 on Sunday. He was the only person I saw that had like a reasonable look at
Right.
birdie. He hit like this really high draw, kind of like a Tiger-esque, like just beautiful high
Yep.
draw,
I
and he hit
remember.
it to like whatever 5, 10 feet, and then he blew it by the hole. I was just like, oh. And then he did the same thing on. He missed a really. He had like one rotation short on 12, 13. He found himself in some trouble, couldn't get up and down. And then on 16, same thing, he missed like a 5 footer, which is very unlike him.
Mm.
Um, my kind of thought leaving the Masters with for Bryson's performance is like I think he played solid. I think the putting got a little shaky, but I think that was more like, burnt out fiery Augusta, not his like an issue with the putter. And like
Mm.
I'm very optimistic for his remainder of 2024 Masters performances.
Well, yeah, I know. I agree with you on that. The rest of the year, I think he's gonna be very solid. But his putter was just not that didn't have a bad putting stroke. I think that he just got so scared on Saturday of how burnt out those greens got and how fast they got that he just gave everything extra and his pace
Oh
was
yeah.
off.
Do you remember on six? Do you remember on the third round on the Saturday on 16, right after he made that ugly double on 15, he blew the uphill putt by like
That's right.
10 feet.
Yeah.
Like as soon as he did that, it was big trouble. He did have that sweet hole out on 18 though. Even when he's going down, he's still this is entertaining. But
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
that was luckily he made
I
that
was
because he went to bed a much happier man after making that hole out for birdie on 18 on Saturday.
that was such a golf moment. Just like, yeah, here we go. But yeah, my overall takeaway, he was, him and Cam Smith both tied for T6. So those were the
Yeah,
highest finishing live players.
right.
I thought that I thought Bryson played really solid. I think that if he puts a little better, he's a little more in contention.
Yep, yep.
Um, that's kind of where my head's. I think his game's looking really good. Also, kind of interesting. He ended up playing the weekend, or I'm sorry, he played the full week with 3D. Like I think they were either steel or titanium 3D printed
Yep.
irons that he
Yep.
had gotten approved by the USGA on that Tuesday.
Yeah.
So pretty sporty. I love it. That's like something that I would maybe try to do.
We'll
But
see
I
how
really
those
like that. I just
work out for them.
yeah,
They're pretty interesting. I mean, we'll talk some other time about
it's
that. I
got
mean,
like
but
twist
it's
face kind of on them.
yeah, they got
Yeah,
bulge
definitely
and
weird.
roll. There's some bulge and roll in them. Only he would. It's only he would do something like that.
Yeah, I don't think he's like not onto something, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like I'm pretty up to like I think he puts a lot of thought into this, so like it wouldn't shock me if that ends up being something that sticks.
that's
But so
right.
yeah, Bryson T6, Cam Smith T6, kind of the exact opposite I would say of what Bryson had done. Cam Smith just played really, I thought, very solid golf over the 4 days.
That's right.
He was like each of his rounds, he was either, it looks so yeah, he played 2 days were under par the first round and the last round were under par. The other 2 days he just parred. So he shot 71, 72, 72, 71. Really
Yeah.
controlled. He on round four he came out swinging. He eagled hole two. Everybody was like, does he have a 65 in him?
Yep.
And then he ended up bogeying five, which is very bogey, like between 5 and 11. Those holes are just very difficult.
Oh
And
yeah.
then he just basically parred his way in. So not like, the standard Cam Smith, I'm going to chase you down that we're expecting. But I thought that him, coming out and playing that solid was pretty good. Like there was a lot of question about his form. He hasn't been doing anything magical in
No.
Live recently. I'm feeling pretty optimistic for they have
Yeah.
the
He
Live Golf
just
Adelaide or Adeline.
Adelaide. Yeah. He just.
So
I mean, just shows up and says, "Yeah, I'm
yeah,
still
we're
one of the best players in the world, and yeah, I'm on live, but still goddamn good." I mean, it's just nice to. It's good to see that. I mean, I liked him. Always liked him when he was on PJ. He's one of the best putters and doesn't overpower the golf course. But I mean, he just plays really good, boring golf. But it's fun golf.
he
It's just
certainly can bomb it though. He certainly can bomb it. Like I
he's
was at
sneaky,
Live Golf
sneaky.
DC and he hit like a 7 wood out of this like really deep bunker. Like he definitely's got some gusto to him. It's fired up. He starts slamming stuff around. He
It's
gets
yeah,
mad.
it's
Like
sneaky.
I've seen him hit his bag with this putter like it's a baseball bat. But so yeah, Cam Smith, solid showing. Really happy about that. Terrell
Yep,
Hatton came T9, which is awesome. I thought that was really, really solid. Also, I believe T12 and under get
get
an
you.
invite to the following year's
That's right.
Masters.
Yep.
So that's a really good thing for Hatton. Hatton definitely didn't have his best stuff. He was like actually spraying the place and losing his mind in Live Golf Miami. So that's the tournament they played in the week before.
Right. We
So
all saw
he
that.
came in
Yep.
in F form and he turned on the Jets. So I think kudos to him. I
Yeah.
think that's pretty darn solid. Wouldn't shock me if he has a couple more top fives this year, kind of across the board between Live and the majors. Um, Joaquin Neiman, T22. He was the guy, kind of the talk of the town on special invitation, which is a
Yeah.
little bit unique. Not as unique for like, superstar South American players, but still was a pretty cool thing. He T22, I didn't think it was anything like to, go, high five and over, but I mean, he got there, he hung in there. I don't know offhand. Let me double check. I think that might be his best finish to date. No, his
I
best
think.
finish was T16.
Oh.
But yeah, yeah, the year before 2023 he had a T16. But
Hmm.
yeah, he played solid. He had like a
Yeah.
70. He had a really bad round on round two was a 78. Then he shot 71, 73. I mean, in good form. I don't think he's played Augusta. He played it 5 times, but he's not. I don't think it's like the best course in the world for him. But I thought it was solid. Anything to add on that? Yeah.
What's that?
Did you have anything to add on Joaquin
No,
Neiman?
it's just solid showing. Like we said, we said it's gonna be around the 20s, and that's exactly where he was. No surprise there.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I got myself a little out of order here. For T12 was P Reed. So Patrick did show up like we thought. I thought he'd
Your
be probably
buddy.
top 10, but yeah, yeah. Talk about a villain. But I don't think they broadcasted a single shot of him.
Not much. I
Um,
didn't see it, and
I was looking
all
all
of a sudden,
over.
I see him. Yeah, I just said, "Oh, Patrick Reed," and I'm like, "Holy crap, he's not that far off." He's pretty high up there.
Yeah, yeah, he did decent. I mean, I don't think it was like his, week, but he's been playing pretty poor, unfortunately, in live golf.
Hmm.
But he definitely showed up, which was pretty cool. So I was happy to see that. And then the other guys that are kind of a little bit more shocking. So we had Phil at T20, or sorry, T43,
Yeah,
and then Brooks and Rom at T45.
yeah, they just
So
never
Phil
had it.
beat Brooks and Rom. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that going. I did. Did I
It's
pick Phil to
Phil.
win? No, I'm kidding.
Phil.
Phil the thrill, baby. But so Phil was just strolling around in his high flyers gear, giving everybody the thumbs up. Brooks and Rom just kind of like it was kind of a mess. Nothing really meaningful. Rom, I believe, fought pretty hard on Friday to make the cut. It was looking pretty ugly there for a while. I remember it was on one of the featured group things. I saw him kind of limping in. I think JT, moving the cut line helped him quite a bit. I don't
Yeah.
recall offhand what exactly he was at on, let me just double check here. Yeah, he shot 73, 76. So he was five over. I'm sorry, no, he was four over. I think when he finished on Friday, the cut line was projected to be either four or five. And then JT worked his magic and got it up to six over.
Yeah.
So
Brought a lot
yeah,
of people
I did
back
actually
in.
watch JT finish. That was just awful. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe that. That was not pretty.
No, we said
But
before what it was,
yes,
and gross.
yeah, it was tough. So so yeah, that's kind of the run through. I thought the live guys did pretty decent. I mean, a lot of them made the cut, a lot of them didn't. I mean, it's
Half and
like I
half.
said, the Surge
Yeah.
DJ thing. Yeah, a little bit more than that. I would say that the two that kind of just blew me away, the Turtle Hat and Bryson. That was pretty freaking cool. Bryson hadn't really done anything that solid here yet, so he did that, which was really really good for him. And then Hatton kind of limping in with this B minus game, and then actually making a charge. It was funny. I think it was on Saturday. He was paired with Tiger, so that was a kind of a funny thing. The Tiger had to deal with that
Mm.
psycho, freaking out, banging clubs and everything. That was cool. But so yeah, that's the down the live leaderboard, so to speak. Jay, I know we were talking a little earlier. There was a comment that got kind of flagged that Faldo had said
Hmm.
about
Mr.
Rom's
Rum.
performance. I'll just read it kind of verbatim, and then I'll let you kind of chime in or give me your kind of initial thoughts. So he was
Yep.
doing an interview, I believe, with on the Sky Sports podcast. So I'll just read it
Hmm.
kind of word for word here. He's like, I think he feels that lack of intensity Faldo told Sky's Sports Golf podcast. I know that he made comments about watching Riviera, referencing the Genesis, and thought he wished he was there. Thought the players was pretty good, and I bet he wished he was there too. He's been playing resort courses in shorts for the past couple months and hasn't really been tested yet. So I thought that, like, to me, that was kind of a little out of left field. I didn't really love that comment. I mean, what do you kind of think of Faldo kind of taking a shot at Rom?
It's I don't know. I think he's just saying it to say it.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
to me, like I look at it like we got like so we're gonna give Rom all this heat for playing like I personally don't really agree with like saying that those guys are just playing resort courses. I mean, the week leading into the Masters, they play a course, they're playing Blue Monster, which is quite substantially, or from what we were looking at and we reviewed in our last discussion on this, it was quite a bit more difficult than that TPC course they were playing. The they as in the PGA guys. So I think I mean Liv definitely has a little bit more of a kind of course rota, so to speak, just because
hmm,
they're playing a lot more international and a lot of these tests are not just as cut and dry. But I think that's a little bit of a kind of a tough shot to take because it's like you have like we were just talking about before, you have JT and Speed who've been playing all these PGA designated events on, championship with air court level golf courses, and then they stroll in and completely shit the bed. So it's like I don't know. I thought that was a bit of a stretch, and I didn't think it was really fair
yeah.
to just taking, throwing a haymaker.
I don't think there's any question of Rom's intensity and whether or not he's gonna go in there and do it. Does he have his frustrations right now? Yes, 100%. It's very evident that it's not what he expected, but and he's trying to change it, but what the result is of going forward remains to be seen. Fowler's been in the game for so long. I think he just says things to say things like that.
Yeah, no, I get that. I do. But so yeah, it's just interesting. Thought it was worth kind of flagging because I was like, ah, it's a little interesting to kind of take a
Yeah,
shot at
it
a
was
fellow past champion.
it was a cheap shot because of all the things going on recently with what Rom's been saying now that he's been on live for a little while and that he wants to change the format back to 72 holes. And now he comes to the Masters and has a mediocre showing, and it's people like to jump on it, and whatever it happens. Sometimes you just don't have it, and it wasn't like the easiest conditions out there. I mean, it was playing so tough. So it's just I don't know. You're looking at it very short sighted, and we'll see how he does in the other majors. I think he'll be just fine. There's no doubt about it. I think Brahms the one of the
Oh yeah,
most
that
he's one of the most intense guys on tour, and one of the most intense golfers ever. Um, and
yeah, Ash Brooks.
he shows it. He shows it, right? So I don't know. It's just a silly comment,
Agreed. Yeah,
and
ask
it's
Brooks about Rob's intensity.
yeah,
He
right.
learned. Classic. So I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curveball here.
Sure.
I didn't have this on kind of what we were talking about running through. I want to get your take on it. Our boy Rory. What do we think?
Again, what did what did he what did I say? Um, where did he end up finishing? First of all, let's see.
He
It
finished
wasn't
T22.
he never had it. He never like just never had it. It played decent enough to make the cut, decent enough. You shot even par on Sunday. He's a good scorer, but again, it's just decent regular golf. Nothing that
I felt like it was the standard Rory thing.
yeah.
Like we're going to go in, we're going to try to miss the cut, which he didn't, thanks to
Almost he almost
JT.
did. He almost did with the 77.
He made the cut on the number, and then he's like kind of just clawing his way back.
Yeah, and then he just floundered around over the weekend like
Yeah.
seven.
Yep.
So yeah, Rory. Like we were saying before, I it's just a bunch of it's good golf. Don't get me wrong, but it's just good enough. It's nothing like did he make the cut right on the number? He shot one
He,
under.
I
Yeah,
think he was four over, I
four
think,
over.
going
He was
on
close. So
Friday.
he was at the back end of the cut.
Yeah, yeah, it was not good.
He was a a bad swing from being a MC.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, to me, the bigger thing is like with Rory, it's like Rory coming in 22nd is like it's not, he's not a scrub, but it's just like Rory's whole thing is Rory wants to win.
Mm.
Like they're like all they talk about leading up to it. Can Rory win the Masters? Is Rory going to win the Masters? And
Yeah,
it's like he comes in and like he's coming in good form and he doesn't do it. He comes in bad form and he doesn't do it. Like it's kind of like I don't really think Rory like from a scar tissue standpoint and like past performance, I don't see a very good chance of him winning this thing. Not because he's not talented. I think he's very talented. I don't think the course really sets up like maybe the greatest for him, just because there's certain shots. It seems like, especially with flight ball, that he just doesn't like do nearly as well as somebody like Scottie.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, that was kind of what my head was.
I think his wedge game, as of the past few years, that his struggles with it really challenges him here because you've got to be dynamite with your wedges here. The flight, the spin, the distance control, it really tests those three key abilities, and that's where his struggles have been lately. When he's on, he's on. When he wins tournaments, it's because those things are not an issue for him. But I just think too, it's just added pressure to get the career Grand Slam, and everybody going into it until he is irrelevant, until he doesn't win anymore. Every year it's going to be can Rory do it every single year, and it's not going to stop.
Yeah, and I also don't think Tiger's doing him any favors saying, every time they ask him, like, is Rory going to win? He's like, oh, yeah, he's going to win tons of them. It's like, it's kind of like a bullshit thing like, he's just throwing dirt on him.
Yeah, but when he's it's been over 10 years since the last time he won a major, and he's won tons of tournaments since then. But He has been in contention a couple times, a handful, maybe a handful of times in in majors. The last one being the 2 years ago at the British Open.
No, is yeah, that was one of them. The other one that he was like damn close on was he was chasing down Wyndham at the Open
Right.
at
Well,
LACC.
look at the last two that he had a chance to win. Right, that one, that you last year's U.S. Open and the previous year's British Open. What did he not do? Make birdies. What did he not do? Make big
Yeah,
putts. Make big putts when he needed to. He played good golf, but on the greens or when it mattered and he needed to make the shots, it never happened. He didn't make bogeys, but he didn't make the birdies you needed to win those tournaments. It was both times that he
I agree.
didn't
I
do it.
did. Yeah, I just pulled this up because we were talking about it, and I was like, what is he won recently? And like how are these like big boy events or not? So like the last one he had was the Dubai Desert Classic, and he won by one to get over Adrian Meronk.
Hmm.
A lot of these are European Tour wins.
Yeah,
Then in July 2023, he won the Genesis Scottish Open, which to me is a pretty darn good event.
yeah, that's a
Then he
big boy
won
one.
in yeah, Jan 23 had the Dubai Desert Classic. So those are the last three Euro ones, and then um, other people counting it, but the for the PGA, the Genesis Scottish Open, there that's a dual event if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's the
And
one where
then
he hit
he
that
won
net. Yeah, he hit that
that
nasty.
nasty like three iron punch thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a crazy shot. But then he won the CJ Cup Tour Championship and RBC Canadian Open. So it's not like he's been winning like the Bermuda, the Butterfield Bermuda Championship. I thought there was more of that. He isn't on the Big Tone schedule, obviously.
You know,
Um,
it's so funny
I,
though. Last year he's top he's top 10 in the final three majors. And last year he was T59 at the Masters.
Mhm.
And then let's look the year before, 2022. Because this is where where
2022, he was
yeah, this is
in
where he's trending.
2022. He came in second, but that was that bullshit
That
wedge
was the,
out. Him
that
and
was
remember
the
when him and
back end.
Colin both chipped
Yep.
in 19? Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
but
the thing.
look, again, eighth at the PGA, fifth at the US Open, third at the Open. Crazy. Then go to 2021. We'll go back a few years because this is it's interesting to
Yeah,
see. Masters T67, PGA T49, T7 at the US Open, and T40. So not a great year there. Um, now let's look at 2020. I mean, that's a weird year to look at.
he
'Cause
was
I don't.
T5 at the Masters, T33 at the PGA, T8 at the Open, and then I don't know what NT stands for. No tournament did
Yeah, it was
COVID, so he didn't
COVID.
play in the
Yeah,
Open Series.
yeah, and then we'll look at
It's
2019.
crazy.
Well, 2019 is one more time.
That was
Master
solid too.
Masters T21, and then PGA T8, US Open T9, Open Championship. He missed the cut. But again, look at it. Like past 5 to 6 years, where is he? What does he do? Play poorly at the Masters, except for 1 year, and then kills it in the rest of the majors. It might just be Augusta.
Oh, I think Rory wins another major. I'm not on the Rory can't win another major
Yeah,
track.
but does he get
I
the
just don't
Grand
think it's a
Slam?
master. No, I don't think so.
I don't know. Yeah,
I
you're right. It might just
I
be the
think
golf
I think
course.
Phil has as good a chance to win the U.S. Open as Rory has to win the Masters. To be totally honest, I know that's like sounds kind of facetious, but I genuinely believe that. Would you be more surprised? Like I wouldn't be like I would be kind of surprised, but if Phil won the U.S. Open, like that would not be the craziest thing, considering that he can just randomly show up and like dominate majors. But like I think that's equally likely that Phil wins the U.S. Open.
It's at Pinehurst this year, and he almost won it. He competed the last two
That was the
times it
Payne,
was
that was the
there.
Payne Stewart one, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Payne Stewart one and the Michael Campbell one, and he was competing in both of them. Like he had a
Was
real
it
good.
was it Michael Campbell or was it
No, it was Michael
Keimer?
Campbell. No, Tiger and Phil were chasing down Campbell, and Campbell just made a ton of birdie putts, and they didn't.
Which one did Martin Keimer win?
The 2014 one,
Was that at Pinehurst?
yes,
All right,
where
so I'm not off. I got the venue right. I just got the year wrong. All right, I'm good.
yeah,
I'm good.
he blew away the
Cool.
field that year. I mean,
Yeah,
I've been there
that
and
was
looked
where he
at it.
just putted like crazy.
I've been there and looked at his, and they have his scorecards on display, and it's just like circles all over the place. And it was over, but on Friday afternoon it was over. I mean, he just played out of his mind. Um,
That's awesome. So
so anyway,
I've had enough of Rory. I think that's reasonable. I think he has a good showing for the rest of the year.
yeah,
Wouldn't even
that's
shock me at all if he wins something. I think we got a lot of like. I think we got a couple superstars ahead of him. That like I think Scottie like is really in great form. I think that Abe Ludwig is like lighting it up. Um, I think those two really are a handful and a half. But yeah, we'll
yeah.
see how he does.
You're right.
So
It might be right where they're just guess what? It's same thing happening with Tiger. Like the cap competition is catching up to him. He's getting older,
yeah,
and
I mean, like what's like Scotty Ludwig are playing great. Or what happens if Cam Smith and Brooks play good in a major? I think there's a handful of guys that are like kind of. I don't think Rory's best is good enough against probably five guys
no,
to be honest. So, but yeah, we'll see. So, just to touch back on Scotty, obviously Scotty's the man. A lot of talk of like, Scotty versus Tiger. Like, is Scotty, playing as dominant as Tiger? I think a lot
hmm
of that's due to the betting odd stuff. I don't know if you saw
I don't
David
look.
Portnoy. Did you see David Portnoy bet on I think he bet 300 grand on Scotty at 450 plus. So
Yeah,
we haven't seen any pro golfers in majors really, with any odds similar to what Scotty's been
no,
getting. And then also like to have 450 odds and then win it. That's like very Tiger-esque. Like a lot of times you'll have guys, I think the craziest odds I
yeah.
saw were like Brooks at like maybe 1,000 for like the US Open or something, which is pretty crazy. So I mean to me, like I can hand the mic off to you on this one if you want, but like what's your kind of thought on the Tiger versus Scotty comp?
See, and you're younger, so you didn't grow up like in that era when Tiger was winning everything from 97 to '05, and then again in 2000, 2006 and 7. Um, it just feels it's different. I think the way Tiger won those majors and the way Scheffler's won his you got to think though, he's only won two majors. And look at the first two majors Tiger won, the 97 Masters and the 2000 US Open, and he beat the field by 27 shots, 12 and 15. Right? It's different. That's it's dominant in the fact that nobody's catching him, but it's not dominant where he's blowing away the field like Tiger did in his first two wins.
Yeah, no. So I will push back a little bit on that. Not be like I don't disagree, but I think a lot of that's because Tiger was so much better. Like I think Scotty is amazing. I don't think like I think his swing's a little funky. Not really my favorite thing in the world to watch. But when I watch Scotty, like he feels very solid. His putter to me is like glued together with duct tape. Like if Scotty never holds another putt again, that wouldn't shock me at
It's
all.
getting better, but Tiger has one of the best putter
Oh, Tiger's the
stats of
man.
all time.
Yeah, it's not even this. It's not even close. I fully agree. But the thing that, like, to me, when I watch Scotty, like, he's very solid. I think he manages his way around the course good. I don't think he doesn't have a big miss, like, which is crazy for how his swing looks. But he really doesn't have a big miss. Like Scotty hits a shot, it's a little squirrely. He's in the woods. He punches out, moves on. Like he doesn't hit like these just mile long like blocks or like
No,
hook it off the planet. He doesn't really do that.
and that's what
But
Tiger
I think
did.
Scott. Yeah, no, but the thing is, I think Tiger just skill wise, like Scotty, I think is half a shot, maybe a shot at best, better than the field per day on some of these tournaments. Tiger was freaking four shots better than the field, and you saw that because he won tournaments by 12 shots.
Yeah.
Like
No,
it's not the same thing to
it's just
me.
different. When Tiger got in a mode, it was leaps and bounds better than everybody else. And like,
I
yeah,
also think
I'm
Tiger pressed more. Like down the stretch, like Scotty played very good. He made some birdies, but like Tiger would have eagled either 13 or 15, like just for good measure.
he
Like it
did
was that kind of stuff.
in 97 had to, but 01, 02, and 05 he made big shots down the stretch at the Masters there because he had
Yeah.
to. But I mean, again, look, Scotty birdied 8, 9, and 10, which those are eight is not it's the par five, but 9 and 10 are very difficult birdie holes. Um,
Oh yeah. And he almost hold it on nine.
yeah, but
But
I don't think you compare it yet. He's only won two Masters. He's competed in some of the other majors. He's only really been a pro on the radar for 3 years. And before then, he did, he had a good amateur career, but nothing like Tiger was. So like nobody was like, oh, this kid Scottie Scheffler is going to be number one above and beyond everybody else in a couple of years. No, so it's just I don't think their comparisons there yet. We'll see, but
Yeah, tell me
in
if you agree with this. I think Tiger's best was unbeatable. I don't think Scotty's best is unbeatable. Like I
no,
think Scotty on his A plus day versus Brooks on his A plus day, I think is a flip of the coin. Or
right.
Scotty on his A plus day versus Rom on his A plus day. I don't like. I think
You
that's the thing.
you take Tiger from 2000 to 2002. I don't think anybody can beat that Tiger. I don't even maybe Jack. That's about it. It's only those two guys. That era of Tiger, nobody's beating him. Like from any era, it was just that freaking good.
Yeah, no,
His swing was just
yeah.
it literally is perfection. You there's no flaw in it whatsoever. And as good as Scotty is with his irons, like Tiger
It's
and
not
the
the same thing. It's
Tiger,
not the same thing at all.
correct. It's no. And like back then, you still had to golf your ball because he was still playing.
Baladas, right, or whatever.
No, like no Nike had just made a ball. No, but the 2001 was like Bellata's almost yes because the Pro V1 like had just came out. I don't think he had switched over just yet, so it was a very similar. It was like the Titleist Pro 100, which was a Bellata ball. Um, so he played in more difficult equipment. That would definitely expose your game compared to what it is now. So we'll see. It remains to be seen. Is it exciting in the near future? Yes. He's playing so damn good. He won the Arnold Palmer and the players leading up to this, and now he won the Masters, and we still have the rest of the major season to go through.
I agree. I think we're
And I'm
completely
excited
aligned.
to see him at
Totally
Pine.
makes sense.
I'm excited to see him at Pinehurst. Um, you haven't played that course before, and I have, and those greens are super difficult, and you have to again, just like Augusta's greens, you got to control the lateral and back and forth distance, your trajectory, and your spin, and you have to put your ball in a certain spot. Because if not, it's going off the green. Or it's being thrown off the green. It's gone. And if you miss, and you got to have your short game and be able to chip and flop the ball like you do at Augusta, you got to do the same thing at Pinehurst. So it
That makes
should
total sense. I'm with you.
yeah, it's going to be an exciting U.S. Open, I think, and a lot of other players. I mean, it's a big golf course, right? The renovation took out a lot of the rough, so it's majority fairway, just like Augusta is. Um, Except that where the Pine Straw is in Augusta, it's the scraggly area at Pinehurst with the sandy soil and then the
You
crabgrass
could
all
still
over.
hit out of that though. It's not like lost
Yep.
ball. It's like very
No,
wispy, isn't it?
it's wispy like we like a place like Extreme Song. It's kind of like that. It's yeah,
Yeah, that
it's like scrub.
makes sense.
It's basically the scrub. So um should be exciting.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so our boy Ludwig Aber, our boy came in second place, beat the
Like
rest
we
of the field by 3 shots. What are
yeah,
you thinking? I mean,
like
I
we
was blown away.
said before, I knew about this kid previously. He did really well on the DP World Tour and was coming up and got a ton of speed and drives the ball really well, which in today's atmosphere is, pretty much guaranteed success. Um, so I'm excited. He out of the young kids that are coming up right now, he's the most promising and the
Oh, to
most
me,
like,
him
hey, I
against
want
Dunlap is like laughable.
yeah, it's to me it's
Dunlap's
like
like, there's no chance compared to
yeah,
Ludwig.
yeah.
Get out of here.
To me it's like I want to see what this kid does. I want to follow this kid.
Think there's any chance he could win a major this year?
Yes.
Same. I really do. I think he could. I don't think he's going to be a 10-time major champion, but to me, when I watch him play, I think he's got two in him. Like I think he could have like, like a Morikawa like kind of where he wins a couple. I think he plays better for longer.
He reminds me of Henrik Stenson. Not
I feel
not
like he's
because
so
of their
much
Europe.
longer.
He's longer, but Stenson played 20 years ago in that era, right? And was pretty damn long, right? And hit
With
his
his three
driver.
wood.
Yeah, right, with the three wood, right? Basically, he had a three wood driver, and his irons were ridiculous, right? So I think this kid is, but I think he's better. To be honest with you, I think he's better.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Cool. All right. So I think that's, I'm with you on that one. Did you have any other topics? I do have our kind of closing thing, but if you have anything else you want to cover, I am
No,
all ears here.
I think we covered all of everything Masters. I mean, it was an exciting week. Good to watch. The Masters app again proves that they crush it and everything else, and CBS and NBC should be ashamed of themselves.
Oh, it's not, yeah, exactly. I believe this one was broadcast through, was it NBC or CBS? I can't remember.
CBS.
It was CBS and ESPN primarily.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, it was a great broadcast. You could see all the shots, really cool. So, all right, I think we'll wrap it up here. My last thing for you, I need one key takeaway, like golf related, and kind of tied to like performance over the next 3 years,
Over the three majors.
the upcoming, obviously.
I don't I mean, again, Scottie will always be the favorite, no doubt about that. You you got it. He's gonna have similar odds everyone going in, and as this performance goes on, they're gonna get even better. But you know, I'm excited. Bryson kind of got a shot of life back in him. Um, I think Zalatoris is back and showed up pretty well, so that's exciting to see. He's another guy that I think brings people, and it's good to finally see Homa kind of in contention and what he's got. Um, he's played well in some big tournaments before, but now that he actually had his first um lick of competitiveness in the majors, yeah, he got rubbed with the green in some spots and was up there, but it's nice to see. So that's kind of my key takeaways from the first major of the year.
I like it. All right, so my pretty
Yeah,
much key
what do
takeaway
you
here.
got?
I think Cam Smith is.
I knew it was
I
gonna
think
be, of course, it's live
Cam Smith
related. Why?
having
Why?
T6. Yeah, no, it really like shocked me. Cam Smith usually like is like a complete roller coaster. Usually he has around over par, has some crazy 60, 65 like that he shoots and gets himself in contention. And the fact that he was able to play really conservative and very consistent golf over 4 days is really kind of it's a little bit scary, I think, looking ahead. Like I think Cam Smith's got at least another two top fives in them in the majors this year
Yeah,
coming up. I really think he will show well. If he can get hot, I wouldn't be shocked if he steals one of these. And I think game's so well rounded. Like I feel like he could win on any of the four. Obviously, there's three left, but I think his game sets up where he could win any of the four. Like I don't
mm,
think he's like a guy like when I look at like a Spieth, these Masters are open, or I look at like a guy like Wyndham Clark, like basically U.S. Open, but like or even Brooks, like U.S. Open, PGA. Like I think Cam Smith could knock on U.S. Open without a problem. Like I think he's got the game for it. So
yeah.
that's where I'm really optimistic about his 2024.
All
And
right.
agreed, Grayson I thought looked awesome. Always rooting for him, but yeah, I think that's the main
Yeah,
one. So
I think
all
golf
right,
is
Jay,
more.
thanks so much, man. Great catching up.
Yeah. All right, buddy. So you got some. You you got a lot more responsibility coming up, but we'll get on them again soon.
Absolutely.
All right,
All right,
man.
thanks again, man. Talk to you
All
soon.
right.
Bye.
Later. Be good.